Swagatam. We'll start our retreat combined with Swami Ranganathan Memorial Lecture with Veda Patanam and Gita Parayanam. We'll tell the chapter number. You can open the books and all of you can chant for 25 minutes, then followed by the memorial lecture.
Pancha shanti mantras. We will repeat this together. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shanno Mitrasham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnururukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Bhadram Karne Bhishrunuyama Devah Bhadram Pashye Makshabhiryajatrah Sthirairangai Stuštuvagam Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedah Swasti nastarksho Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatirdadatu. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Yaschandasam Rishabho Vishwarupaha Chandobhyodhyamritaat sambabhuva Samendro medhaya spranotu Amitasya devadharano bhuyasam Shariram me vicharshanam Jihva me madhumattama Karnaabhyam bhuri vishruvam Brahmana koshosi medhaya pihitaha श्रुतं मे गोपाय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ तच्चंयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये। दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शं चतुष्पदे। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। भगवद गीता सेकंड चैप्टर स्थित प्रज्ञ लक्षण श्लोक 54 onwards. Please do this in repetition mode. यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। अर्जुन उवाच अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्तस्य केशव। स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा
समाधिस्तस्य केशव।
स्थितधीः किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्।
स्थितधीः किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान्।
प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान्।
आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते।
आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते।
दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः।
दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः।
वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते।
वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते।
यः सर्वत्रानभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम्।
यः सर्वत्र नभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम्।
नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता।
नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता।
यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः।
यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः।
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता।
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता।
विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः।
विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः।
रसवर्ज्यं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते।
रसवर्ज्यं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते।
यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमादीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः। इन्द्रियाणि प्रमादीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः। तानि सर्वाणि संयाति युक्त आसीत मत्परः। तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः। वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते।
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते।
सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते।
सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते।
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः।
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः।
स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति।
स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति।
रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानीन्द्रियैश्चरन्।
रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन्।
आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति।
आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति।
प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते।
प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते।
प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते।
प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते।
नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना।
नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना।
न चाभावयतः शान्तिः अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम्।
न चाभावयतः शान्तिः अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम्।
इन्द्रियाणां हि चरतां यन्मनोनुविधीयते।
इन्द्रियाणां हि चरतां यन्मनोनुविधीयते।
तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावमिवाम्भसि।
तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावमिवाम्भसि।
तस्मादस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः।
तस्माद्यस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः।
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता।
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता।
या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी।
या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी।
यस्यां जाग्रति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः।
यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः।
आपूर्यमानम् अचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्वत्।
आपूर्यमानम् अचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्वत्
तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी
तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी
विहाय कामान् यः सर्वान् पुमांश्चरति निःस्पृहः
विहाय कामान्यः सर्वान् पुमांश्चरति निःस्पृहः
निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिमधिगच्छति
निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिमधिगच्छति
येषा ब्राह्मी स्थितिः पार्थ नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति
येषा ब्राह्मी स्थितिः पार्थ नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति
स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमुच्यति
स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमृच्छति
ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे सांख्ययोगो नाम द्वितीयोऽध्यायः।
ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहं। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। हरिः Om. So we are here 14th December 2025 on the eve of 117th birthday of most revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, the first president, Adhyaksha of Ramakrishna Math, Hyderabad, from 73 to 1998, and the 13th president of the entire world order of the Ramakrishna Math and Mission. Today we have the 5th memorial lecture in honor of revered Maharaj, whose photograph you see for the benefit of new devotees and students. And we have our monthly spiritual retreat after the memorial lecture, which consists of bhajans, meditation, chanting, etc. All of you are welcome to participate in this. You have come a long way, elders and youngsters. Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission has got a legacy of 129 years. It started 1897, May 1st, with Swami Vivekananda as the General President. But then when Vivekananda decided that he will leave the body before 40 years, he handed over all the responsibility to Swami Brahmanandaji Maharaj, who was the Manasaputra of Sri Ramakrishna, the first president of the Ramakrishna order for nearly 21 years. Then the legacy continued and continued and continued. Now we have the 17th president of the Ramakrishna order, and Swami Ranganathanandaji was the 13th president. Before him, they were all the direct disciples and second generation of disciples. Maharaj took over from Swami Bhuteshanji Maharaj, who was the disciple of Swami Sharadanandaji. So that is how the Guru Parampara in Ramakrishna Math continues. We work on principles, not on the person. But persons are important because they lead from the front and show the way. They are our lighthouse. They are our margadarshaks. They are our gurus, both spiritual and secular. So this Hyderabad Math has got its own fragrance, its own uniqueness, its own speciality, because every inch, every centimeter, or even the length and breadth of this 8 acres campus is filled with the vibrations of revered Swami Ranganathanandaji. The old generation are aware of it, the new generation are feeling it. But they do not know how these vibrations continue. For that, books are there, literature is there. You have to study how a dirty land, a garbage-filled land, a slum land, an acid-filled land has become gold, spiritual gold for Hyderabad and Secunderabad citizens. Old photographs when you see, you can understand. Barren land, nothing grows here, only rocks and garbage, sewage, everything was flowing here. But the farsight and foresight of this Sangha Guru, the one and the only Swami Ranganathanandaji, has converted this into a land of spirituality for both the citizens, and not only Hyderabad, Secunderabad, for the entire state. That time United Andhra, now Telangana, and from Telangana the message will go all over the world, which is continuing today. So we have this memorial lecture, introduction, etc. we'll do later. Now we request our brother monks of Ramakrishna Math Hyderabad and four guest swamis we have. One from Trishur, one from Muzaffarpur, one from Kamarpukur, and one from Pune. So it's a national integration of monks here. Plus the Hyderabadis are here. We are 11 brother monks. So all of us will offer, along with Dr. Balasubramaniam, the guest speaker, and Sri Ram Babu, the close associate of Swami Ranganathanandaji for nearly 35 years, when he was the IAS officer in Andhra Pradesh, the district collector and EO of Tirumala. He is here to offer his tribute to Maharaj also. Line by line they will come, offer the tribute, and then go back and sit. Then we'll start the memorial lecture. All of you, Swamis first.
चार करोड़ चाहिए या 3 लाख मंथली इनकम, अपनी ड्रीम लाइफ खुद चूज करो। जी हां, मैं बात कर रहा हूं एक्सेस मैक्स लाइफ फ्लेक्सी वेल्थ एडवांटेज प्लान।
मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं
Srinivas Reddy. Video. Chal, hey, don't do anything. Don't pull carpet, nothing. I said only chairs in the front. Carpet will remain because the
but with reverence.
Be careful. Module, leave it. Just chairs in the front. Remove the harmonium. Don't touch anything. Harmonium. Right. Very good. Very good. Now, all of you will have the privilege and the blessing of seeing Revered Ranganathanji on the video for 8 minutes. He has given a talk on work as worship in Berkeley, in United States, and that will be broadcasted, followed by the guest lecture. Maharaja's favorite topic was work is worship. So listen to that, think about it, then we'll go forward.
Swamiji gives a beautiful insight into this concept. We often hear in Vedantic books the statement, work is worship. When does work become worship? First of all, it must contain that spirit of service. And that's not enough. Every service cannot become worship. But along with service, if there is reverence also, then every work becomes worship. When you go to a church, you serve in the church. Say, washing, sweeping, dusting you do. You are serving there. But that service is accompanied by a spirit of reverence. That's why it becomes a worship. Similarly, in human relations also, if you can combine service with reverence, then it becomes worship. Work is worship from this point of view. You are serving your little baby, wonderful. Serve it with love, but with reverence. There's a divine spark in that child. Then that very work becomes worship. This is the great philosophy of work Swami Vivekananda taught. And this was at the back of his mind when he said this, worship is the exact equivalent of the Sanskrit word. No other English word will do. Everything that you do to the other human being is worship. Stand before the other human being in reverence. Don't stand in a superior attitude, throw some coin towards somebody. Have reverence, reverence, reverence. Some of the great teachers and some of the great reformers of the modern period have referred to this concept and value of reverence for life. One was Albert Schweitzer, that great German missionary and scholar. Reverence for life should be the center of our attention. In Swamiji you find the explanation for it, reverence, because there is a spark of the divine in every human being. I may be poor, I may be down and out, I may be broken, but that divine is always there. And so stand in reverence before every human being, convert your work into service and service into worship by adding reverence to that service. He said this in that Madras lecture. At that time, this teaching of Kapila to his mother Devahuti was at the back of his mind. Here is that wonderful verse that comes a little later after the verses which I quoted earlier had been mentioned. Kapila says, Athamam Sarveshu Bhuteshu Bhutatmanam Kritalayam Arhayed Danamanabhyam Maitriya Abhinnena Chakshusha. A profound verse. Every word in it has been implemented in Swamiji's message today. What does he say? Therefore, worship me. For what is religion? worship of God. The word worship here is arhayet. Arhana is archana in Sanskrit, means worship. Beautiful word in Sanskrit. Arhana, archana. Arhayet, mom, worship me. Then I ask, why? Where shall I worship you? Then comes the answer, sarveshu bhuteshu, in all beings. Worship me in all beings. Why? Bhutatmanam, I am the self of all. Kritalayam, I have built myself a temple in every one of them. What Jesus said, are ye not tabernacles of God? In the Bible you will read it. Are ye not tabernacles of God? Same language here. Athamam sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatmanam kritalayam. I have already built a temple in all this for me. Therefore, arhayet, worship me there. How to worship God in man? Easy to worship God in the temple or in a church or in a mosque. Very easy, because God doesn't respond. We say in India, you take plenty of sweets and fruits to a temple and offer it to God. And you get the whole thing, you get back. Nothing is taken there. But in God, in the case of man, it is quite different. He will eat it. Certainly he will take it away. So, that second line is most wonderful. Arhayet, worship me there. How? Dana mana abhyam. Through dana, mana. Remove the felt wants of people around you. Hungry, find food or employment. Illiterate, give education. Full of sorrow, bring peace. Thus, removing the felt wants of people around you, of beings around you, worship me there. And while doing so, respect the person concerned. He may be poor, he may be backward, he may be sick, but respect. Why? I am there. Don't forget that focus. That point of reverence is there. So the second word is mana, respect. See the wonderful idea. If I see a poor man, I just throw a coin towards him. There is no respect in it. It is contempt. It is pity. Pity has no place in this wonderful human relationship. It's all right in an aristocratic society. We can pity the common people. But in a democracy, we don't pity. Everyone has a status. So similarly, every human being has a spark of the divine. So the Lord says here, Arhayet, Danamanabhyam. Remove the felt wants of people around you. While doing so, respect them. They have a dignity. Today they are poor. Tomorrow they may cease to be poor. These are all passing things. And therefore respect me in them. Respect their integrity as a human being, as carrying the spark of the divine. These are the two words. Dana, mana. Dana actually means charity, donation, or giving. Do means to give. It's a wonderful word. Donation is a word coming from the same root in Sanskrit. Donate, dana. This Sanskrit is the base for these words there. So dana, mana, abhyamana is respect. Respect the person there. What a beautiful idea, respect for man. Even the little baby, we have to respect that little child. Today's education tells you, respect the child. Today's whole democratic philosophy tells you, respect the common man. In him is some profound value. Of course, in democracy, we know the value of the common individual. When you find the voting time in elections, Vivekananda referred to this aspect of Vedanta in the political context when he spoke in America once. Your democracy is the essence of Vedanta, because every man has an integral value in democracy. Because you have $1 million in your pocket, you don't have two votes, only one vote. Everybody has only one vote in a democracy. Its philosophy is you have an integral value. The same Atman is present in everyone, whatever may be his social status, in his fullness. That's why in recent elections in India you will find an old woman can't even walk. People carry like this, she goes to vote. She has a status. As a social individual, she has no status. She is unprotective, very weak, but she has not lost her supreme status. That spark that is within, that is where her individuality lies. Nobody can take it away. Maybe very poor, maybe a beggar even, there's also a status there. So in all these ideas, this beautiful concept comes in: reverence, reverence, reverence.
That is a 45 minutes talk on reverence, significance of reverence. We have taken just 8 minutes to give the new students, new people, new devotees, an idea and a picture of a man who lived and walked on this planet till 2005 from 1908. So, Ranganathanji's main work is seeing God in man and at the same time elevate man to a high levels of human excellence, spiritual excellence. So it's a serious topic, but a very important topic in present circumstances. So for this, how Maharaj used to bring the highest Vedanta into the doorstep of a sweeper, of a cobbler, of a tailor. That was Vivekananda's vision. He always used to tell, what Swami Vivekananda wanted us to do, I am doing it tooth and nail. I will not rest till I fulfill Swamiji's vision. I may die in the process, but I will perform this yajna of Swamiji, service of God in man. That is how the entire life from childhood upwards, he built up and made others build also. The great monks who lived with him and who saw him day after day, year after year, in their own centers and other places, they say, the life of a great spiritual personality is like the tip of an iceberg, the bottom of which is too deep to plumb. The only difference between the two is that while the iceberg destroys the ship, when the latter collides with the hidden rock, when the latter collides with the hidden rock, the benign spiritual rock of the holy person touches a person tenderly. It is often done without the knowledge of the blessed soul. And the person who is thus touched is gradually transformed and transported to a blissful shore. Swami Ranganathananda was one such robust cliff of the lofty spiritual mountain range called the Ramakrishna Vivekananda movement, which has inspired, strengthened, and guided the lives of innumerable seekers of truth and provided succor and solace to suffering humanity across the globe. Like a true Vedantist monk, he made himself accessible to all, irrespective of caste, creed, status, and religion. As such, Swami Ranganathananda Maharaj was undoubtedly a global personality, a monk without frontiers. However, he was deeply rooted at the same time in the Ramakrishna Vivekananda tradition. In his introduction to Raja Yoga, Swami Vivekananda declares that each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Swami Ranganathananda, the 13th president of the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, responded to this clarion call of Swamiji and attained extraordinary heights through self-effort and hard work. Eventually, he manifested his divinity to such an extent that everyone, be it a monk, a householder, a politician, or an intellectual, stood as much dazzled and enthralled by his range of knowledge and power of oratory as by his strength of character that radiated human excellence or divinity. Swami Atmasthanandaji, who later became the 15th president of the Ramakrishna order, he said, Ranganathanji's life was extremely disciplined. He thoroughly followed the ideals of Ramakrishna and Vivekananda, based on which the Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission run. But over and above this, he did all the necessary work as time and situation required. The biggest example of this is the Hyderabad Center. What did he not achieve over there? There was nothing in that place in the beginning. But see what he did. How could he do it? Truly, what great deeds he did there. Amazing. God had given him strength, and that strength gradually manifested itself. Revered Ranganathanji gave encouragement to everybody, sannyasis, brahmacharis, or devotees. He always encouraged everyone to go forward. This is, after all, a unique quality seen in the saints. As a result, the dormant energy in the human being gets awakened. Swami Ranganathanji did this throughout his life. So in the short memoirs and short presentation, we get the vastness, the width, the intensity, the depth, and the capability which he proved in his life, and how he has built up institutions, right from his Mysore days to Karachi days to Rangoon days, and then to New Delhi, and New Delhi to Kolkata, Kolkata to Hyderabad, Hyderabad to then Sri Ramakrishna took him to the President Sangha Guru level, and finally he is watching us from the Ramakrishna Loka. Those who are connected with some other centers, maybe Bombay, Pune, Bangalore, Delhi, etc., and they come here because it is their Gurusthan, etc., they palpably feel that Maharaj is still watching and conducting the activities. So we are only Nimitta Matram, as Sri Krishna tells to Arjuna, Nimitta Matram Bhavasavya Sachin. We are enjoying the fruit, whether this auditorium, whether the temple, whether it is the campus, greenery, etc. Maharaj's hard labor, backbending work, day after day, day after day. And then it is our responsibility as devotees, as monks and others to take the message forward. That's why such gatherings, such meetings, such retreats, frequently organized for the sake of Hyderabad devotees, is essential, is important, is necessary today because of the testing times. And his favorite topic was how to take Vedanta to Parliament, to democracy. Things are not very good today, up and down, black and white. So there should be enlightenment, there should be citizenship also. So may we request Dr. R. Balasubramaniam, Member HR, Capacity Building Commission, Government of India, New Delhi, to come onto the stage and occupy the stage for the memorial lecture delivery. Yes. So, next few minutes, you will listen to Dr. R. Balasubramaniam. We are in mutual contact, mutual touch, and mutual interaction since the last 35 years. From my brahmachari days, I knew him, seen him, and now he is the pinnacle of Capacity Building Commission, the brainchild of the Pradhana Mantri. And in that, there is a very special training division called Mission Karma Yogi, which has been designed with the Karma Yoga lectures of Swami Vivekananda for the central government employees in the country. It's a very unique, very special, and a very purposeful training sessions going on since the last 5 years. So Dr. R. Balu, popularly known as Balu in Mysore and other places, is a development scholar, author, public policy advocate, leadership trainer, known for his development work with rural and tribal people in Sargur, HD Kote Taluk of Mysore in Karnataka. Immediately after his MBBS, he is a doctor by profession, but a social activist by passion, and now a teacher by excellence, by his own capacity of imbibing Swami Vivekananda's spirit. He used to say, 3 people inspired him in his college days: Swami Vivekananda, of course, then the monks of the Ramakrishna order in Mysore, Albert Schweitzer, and Mahatma Gandhi. Then go back to the villages. That was the call. Vivekananda says, India lives in the villages, not in these metropolitans. Millions are there in the villages, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. So he took up his first aid kit and straight away walked into the forest areas of Bandipur and HD Kote Taluk, Sargur. And last 30 years, no looking back, he went on doing this service to the tribals as a doctor and as their well-wisher and, providing solace to the tribals. So he started the Vivekananda youth movement with the help of many inspired people, which is continuing even now. After spending 26 years in development work among rural and tribal people, he pursued academic degrees in leadership, organization development, public policy, and has held academic positions in Cornell and other universities in the United States. His books, Voices from the Grassroots and I, the Citizen, are a compilation of narratives and reflections of a development expert. He published an interesting book called Power Within, the leadership legacy of Narendra Modi. So Dr. Balu was trained and initiated by one of the senior monks, Swami Yatishwaranji's disciple, Swami Achalanandaji in Mysore, then by Swami Sureshanji and other monks. And main work at present is training of the central government employees in Karma Yoga. People are doing a lot of work, but they do not know the value of work. The transformation that should take place is missing there. The Karma Yoga concept is missing, but a lot of work is going on. Pradhan Mantri must have felt we need more Karma Yogis based on Bhagavad Gita teachings, our traditions, and Vivekananda's ideas. So he selected Dr. Balu and a big team, and they have prepared a fantastic syllabus, which he will share with all of you for knowledge, whether the postal department, whether telephones, whether railways, whether IAS officers, the bureaucrats, past, present, and the younger generation who will become future. So all these people are getting trained in a beautiful, this one called Mission Karma Yogi. Karas Chandana Bharavetta, Bharasya Vetta, Natu Chandanasya. The donkey knows the weight of sandalwood, not the value of sandalwood. So ఇంత పని చేయాలా, ఏమొస్తుంది నాకు అని ఉంటే అంత పనిలోనే దేశం భవిష్యత్ ఆగిపోతుంది. So we need to transform ourselves, put ourselves as karma yogis. Karma, everybody does. Machine is doing karma, fan is doing karma, this projector is doing karma, mic is doing karma, we are also doing karma. That means we are under the mercy of nature, switch off and switch on. Is there nothing else in me? Illusion. Brain. That man position, but he works out the divinity inside. And then he is in Manipur, then he is in Mysore, and today Hyderabad, now Delhi, then tomorrow Rajasthan. So we have to move on. Swamiji's work has. So not just emotional devotee. So we have to contribute, we have to learn, we have to absorb. That is the spirit of Ravi Ranganathanandaji's presentation. For 90 years, the man spread the message from his childhood days till he left his body. So we welcome all of you. We welcome Sri Ram Baba Garu. We welcome the devotees. We welcome our brother monks. And we listen to Dr. R. Balasubramaniam, Member HR, Capacity Building Commission, Government of India. And more so, our devotee and our friend well-wisher. Over to Dr. Bala. Thank you.
Parama Pujya Swami Bodhabayananji, Adhyaksha of the Ramakrishna Matha, Hyderabad, all the senior monks of the Ramakrishna order, friends and fellow devotees. It's indeed a privilege to be here, and I consider myself truly blessed, not only to be here, because this is a special place like Swami Bodhabayananji explained to us, but personally for me to be invited by the Swamiji to be delivering a talk in the Swami Ranganathanandaji Memorial Lecture. And as I was sitting there listening to his talking, I was recalling an incident several decades ago when he was visiting Mysore. Mysore is a special place again for people like me because he started his journey in the Ramakrishna order from Mysore. And I did not know much. Like Swamiji said, I was privileged to be mentored and guided, and I would even say taken care of by Swami Achalahanji and Swami Sureshanji. And one day Swami Sureshanji sent, those days there was no cell phone. I was in the college, in the class, and somebody from the Ramakrishna ashram came and gave a slip of paper to me. And Swamiji, Sureshanji, he had a typical signature. He had said, clear instructions, Balu, be at the ashram at 4 p.m. And I did not know why, and Swamiji sensed you have to be there. I went there. It was possibly an extraordinary, momentous occasion for me that Swami Sureshanji had arranged a one-on-one meeting with Swami Ranganathanandaji on that day. And he told me, I sent word for you because Swamiji is leaving tomorrow morning. And if you have to see both Sri Ramakrishna and Vivekananda in one person today, this is the only person you can see it in. And I thought you should come and take his blessings. So my accident, I wouldn't say accidental, maybe Sureshanji had planned for it all the time. But for me, a momentous meeting on that day was the first time I got introduced to somebody. And when your guru says something like that, you take it to heart. And I started going, and we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have all these privileges those days. So the books were the only thing that we had access to. And Mysore had a publication center too in Kannada, so we could get a lot of things translated. But more importantly for me, as time progressed, the advantage of his talks that's available, those days in CDs, now it might possibly be on MP3, MP4, things might have changed a lot. That formed an extraordinary foundation, and I'm sure millions of people around the world would have been sparked by something he said somewhere. And for me, coincidentally, his words on excellence that Swamiji had put up as a slide was something that stayed with me. And I always believed that if you can't seek that excellence in everything that you do, then you can never truly seek God. And therefore, the only way to find Him, I believe, then was to do everything very well as you could. So from then on from the forest of Bandipur National Park, where a substantial part of my life, or most of my life, was spent with the indigenous tribal communities, to today, it won't be wrong for me to say polluted Delhi, because Delhi is polluted not just environmentally, but in every sense of the word. And to survive amongst it for 5 years, if I did not have the foundation that the order and monks like Sureshanji and Swami Ranganathanandaji have given us, possibly I wouldn't have survived. It takes a lot of effort to be that lotus leaf. You keep forgetting, you get wet. And then you suddenly remember Guru Maharaj's words and says, don't let the water wet you. And you go back. And this morning when Swamiji was talking to me, I was telling, 5 years seems long enough. Because 5 years ago when I started, I went to another mentor of mine, the former Chief Justice of India, Sri Venkatachalayaji. And I asked him, should I take on this position? Two people I had consulted before I took on this position. One was Sri Venkatachalayaji. He said, I know you very well from nearly those days, 30 years now, longer. And I have an opinion about you, that if the system around you is something which troubles you, you'll walk away from it. So give me a promise that what come what may, until the Prime Minister sends you off, you will not resign and come back. So every time I decide to resign, it is these words that come to my mind. But more importantly, something else happened. I sought out Swami Ranganathanandaji. At that time he was in the Madras ashram. And I asked him, what should I do? Because these are difficult choices for somebody who didn't want all this. And Swamiji was categorical. In one sentence, in his typical Kannada, he said, I'll say it in Kannada first and translate, Ninna choice alla adu. That means he said, it's not a choice at all, because if Guru Maharaj wants you to do it, you have to simply go do it and come back. And just there's no option is the kind of language he used. And so considering all that, I thought there is no option. But now looking back and seeing the extraordinary requirement and necessity of looking at citizenship, not just from the eyes of the citizen, but from the lens and eyes of a bureaucrat. And you must understand that I come from the other side of the fence, coming from the ground, living with tribals who I believe are the most exploited in this country, exploited mostly by the state itself, and angry at that exploitation, having sued the government of Karnataka, having sued the government of India, having been beaten up, having been arrested, all the trials and tribulations that you undergo when you stand up for justice, or when you stand up to represent a voice which is never heard or spoken. You go through all this and you ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it truly worth everything that you believe in? And it was then books like Enlightened Citizenship of Swami Ranganathanandaji or his lectures on public administration. And I would always believe that there would be light at the end of the tunnel. And I would like to start off with a very funny personal story. It's a very funny story. I used to be a very strong anti-corruption campaigner and very angry one also. One day, and Mysore is famous for Dasara, and I would be very troubled that every Dasara, crores of rupees get spent for celebrating 10 days of Dasara. And the joke was amongst the citizens of Mysore that you lay the road and the government lays it so well that after 10 days the road also disappears along with the celebrations. And it was very troubling. So one day I decided, I came from the forest and said, if the citizens of Mysore cannot do it, I am going to fight for this. So I sat on the road which the main procession used to go, exactly in the middle of the road. All the traffic had to be stopped. I carried a hammer and a screwdriver and I dug up the road itself. So 1 inch of the road, ½ inch of the road is what came out when I dug the tar. And so the media, everybody came, the city corporation commissioner came, all of them come to request you to get up from there because traffic has to move. And we activists want the traffic to be stopped because only then people will notice you. That is a typical activism way. And the commissioner was asking me, what should I do to get you to come out of the road? I said, tell me how much, show me the estimate, show me the blueprint, show me the design of what your retarring is for. And that was for 4 inches. So I said, if 4 inches can become ½ inch, I will not get up till it becomes 4 inches. Now, obviously, that is a little exaggeration because I have to get up and relay the road. So finally, it all got settled and he agreed that the road would be retarred. I left. Next morning, I got a call at 8 o'clock. It was a very angry call. Now, we people are used to such angry calls because I thought maybe the contractor is calling me. because it's a nexus in our country. And so I upset that nexus, so somebody from that side is calling me. And he said, "Are you Dr. Balasubramaniam?" I said, "Yes." And in Kannada he said, "Time ಎಷ್ಟು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? Do you know what the time is now?" I looked at the clock and said, 8 o'clock. He said, 8 ಗಂಟೆ ಆಯಿತು, ಮನೇಲಿ ಕೂತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಇನ್ನು? It's 8 o'clock and you're still sitting at home. I said, as long as I'm sitting in my house, it should not be a problem. I'm not sitting in somebody else's house. And if I'm sitting in somebody else's house, my family should be worried, not you. And then he looked at me and on the phone he said, "You should be near where, you should come to my house now." So the anger was there. I was not sure why he's inviting me house, because either to meet me in his house or to give me breakfast, I did not know. I asked him, "Who are you? Why do you want me to come?" He said, "I just noticed that government is asphalting my street. Who is to fight for the street to be laid properly?" He asked me. And I said, "But why should I come for that?" Then that fellow didn't seem to understand that question. Then I asked him, "Have you had your breakfast?" He said, "No." I said, "Please don't eat breakfast." He was angry with me. I said, "I have finished breakfast, so you don't have to eat now." Now, many of you might not understand the nuance I'm trying to say. Citizenship in our country is for somebody else to perform, but others think that it's for us to enjoy. That man was exactly like that. And then I asked him, "But why don't you go tell the contractor to lay it properly?" He said, "What suggestion you're giving? You want me to get beaten up?" he asked. So he was okay with I getting beaten up, but he didn't want to get beaten up. This is a fact of this. This actually happened. And I realized our understanding of citizenship is exactly like this. When somebody throws a piece of paper on the street, we'll say, "Look at the uncouth fellow, he's dirtying this street." But when we drop that piece of paper, it never occurs to us that we are also part of the same deal. Every act of yours, and I would like to challenge the audience here, all of you self-selected yourself to be here today, to participate in this wonderful occasion, to remind ourselves of all these things. How many of us play the role of a citizen to the hilt? It's a question each of you should ask yourselves, because citizenship is a hugely abstract concept. When we teach public policy, we talk about the state and we talk about the citizen, and the intricate relationship the state builds with the citizen. And it's an evolutionary relationship. It is not a constant, steady definition which we can say in 1947, our role of a citizen was this, and therefore in 2025 it will be the same. It alters, and let me just explain it to all of you. When we got a freedom in 1947, this extraordinary nation of ours, which for 1600 continuous years was the leading economy of the world, we had 38% of the global share of the economy. In 1947, we had 2% of the global share of the economy. That is what we were reduced to. 350 million people. Average life expectancy at birth was 36. The literary rate amongst men was around 30 and women 28, if I can remember my numbers correctly today. The country had to think about taking care of its citizens. So where the role of the citizen was just survival, because the nation was at such tenterhooks those days. We had the partition, a very painful partition, settling down after the partition. Just imagine, put yourself in that place. And a state missionary, completely trained and built to be masters of the citizens. And that is the unpacking we're trying to do even today in Mission Karmyogi, because the mandate was that. The mandate of the Indian civil service was exactly to collect. We have senior bureaucrat sitting here, Ram Babuji, and I'm sure he'll agree with me. 1940, before 47, the mandate was to control. And control meant not just ensuring law and order as the responsibility of the state, but ensuring law and order so that Indians don't come together to fight for freedom. They don't oppose the British Raj. And collecting revenues. So very clearly, two major mandates of the responsibilities of the civil services. And suddenly we become independent overnight, and due credit to our civil servants, they had to now shift their thinking from looking at people as subjects to suddenly treating them as citizens. It is not an easy shift. It will take a lot of effort. I was remembering very old, I don't remember the name of the cinema now. As a young person, I had seen this in Kannada, where the daughter of the house falls in love with the driver of that rich industrialist. And all hell breaks loose, because how can my daughter marry my driver? And because suddenly you have to see your driver as your equal. And that's what his dialogue was. He says, I have seen him as a driver all my life. Now you want to make him my son-in-law and make him my equal? He asks the daughter that question. And I think our civil servants had to have asked themselves that question, because they were trained to see people as subjects to be controlled, and suddenly they have to see them as citizens. So it is not an easy shift. But the bigger problem was for citizens themselves. They had got used to being subjects, that they couldn't even recognize their citizens now. And for them, becoming a citizen meant in many years later to throw stones at the buses. Or yesterday we saw in the stadium in Calcutta, destroying it. So is that citizenship? Expression of my free will on the system called the country? It's a question I leave to all of you to ask yourselves. But then 1947, the nation was a providing nation. We had to provide food for our citizens. From making modern bread, many of you elders might remember here, Government of India made bread also. Later on they sold it to Unilever. But I remember as a child, my mother, if somebody is sick in the family, my mother would ask me to go buy modern bread and come. After I became a physician, I suspected whether modern bread was also in, paracetamol was also put in modern bread, because fever was equivalent to eating bread. Otherwise, we never ate bread those days, at least in my house. But the state had to provide. So the role of a citizen, when the state is providing, is just receiving. And in that receiving is a hierarchy. And in that hierarchy is the loss of power, which means the state actually became more powerful by giving. If I were to keep giving you something and you enjoy taking it, you will have to listen to what I say if you want to continue to take it. So that time, citizenship was as simple as receivership. It was no different from that. There could not have been the enlightenment that we're talking about today. But then in the 90s, things changed. Unfortunately, our country, all this change is only seen from economic milestones. We don't see them as socio-political milestones. Because we citizens don't participate in the political process. Swamiji spoke about elections in the video. Unfortunately, we have reduced our participation to the tokenism of voting in elections. We neither look at what happens up till the elections or after the elections. It is as though the elections is going to preserve our democracy. But it is not that. It is the engagement of citizens before and after the election that truly preserves our democracy. And that is what is the process of getting enlightened. So 90s, when the state decided that we are no longer happy with the way we have evolved as a nation economically, and we said we are going to privatize, we are going to globalize, we are going to be part of the global economy, the state suddenly became, from a provider role, it became a provisioner role. It started provisioning space for citizens to express their potential. Before that, even now I can remember very distinctly, 1987 when I graduated as a young doctor and went home. I was the first doctor in my family. I come from a very ordinary family where my grandparents all were archaks in their villages. And so it was a matter of great pride for my father, who had to virtually deal with poverty till he could get a job and his family could get out of poverty. So every step was a great achievement for that generation. I think many of us would have gone through that, or at least the families would have gone through that. And so when I went home proudly to say I stood third in the university, I got my degree certificate, I'm going to get a degree certificate, I'm a doctor now, my father was truly happy. And for a minute I got confused. I thought my father is happy that I become a doctor. And then what he said next sentence explained to me why he was happy. Because by then my older sister was married off, and she and her husband were living in the United States. And we didn't have a telephone. There was only one telephone in our street. And so my sister and brother-in-law would call that house and say, please, can you call somebody from my family? And then they would come and call us. We'd all go sit there for the phone to ring again. And Those days, it can't come in 5 minutes like they said. Sometimes it will take half an hour, sometimes it will take 2 hours, but you wait there for the call to come. Very embarrassing. And other family people, they're given us coffee already. Lunchtime is coming close. These people have still not got the phone call. When will they go? And these America timings are different, so you're either early morning or late evening. Either breakfast time or dinner time, you're disturbing them. So embarrassing. So my father said, finally we can apply for a telephone. And there was a scheme those days called Own Your Own Telephone, OYT, General, OYT Special. And doctors were considered OYT Special. OYT General would take 10 years for the phone to come, get sanctioned. OYT Special would come in 6 months. So my father was finally happy. At least after 6 months, we don't have to disturb those neighbors. We can have a phone in our house. So it was less to do with my becoming a doctor and more to do with the privileges of being a doctor as a citizen that my family would get. It's a very strange country, and that was the kind of regulatory framework under which we existed, because private sector couldn't make phones. And if private sector could make like scooters of Bajaj, my father waited 13 years for the scooter after paying our money to get the scooter delivered, because Bajaj would not be allowed to produce that extra scooter. So if Mr. Bajaj felt my role as a citizen is to produce for this nation, he could not perform it, because the state determined what is the boundary of your citizenship. And so we have to all live through these times. Whatever explanations the state might have had, valid or invalid, let's not get into it now. But then the provisioning state said, please make. So overnight, today, instead of waiting 13 years, you can go to 13 showrooms and they'll follow head over heels to get you to buy a scooter today. You can shift your cell phone from A company to B company, the portability is there. If you're not happy with the insurance company, you can shift the insurance company today without asking anybody. So provisioning became the mantra, and citizens were suddenly exposed to a little amount of expansion. But unfortunately, our citizens responded in a very funny way, I feel. Because you just ask yourself, some of the elder people here, those days budget was a very important, even today it is, a very national budget is an important milestone for our nation's progress. So the day the budget comes out, we would have lectures of famous people like Nani Palkewala and others across, or we would have newspapers, headlines would be only budget. And I would see what my father is watching in the budget. And we are still, those days of old house we were living in, and my father was planning to build a house, so his only thing was, his steel price come down, a cement price come down. And I would look at what my classmates would watch later in life for them, as cigarette price come down, as alcohol price come down. Later on for the younger generation, as cell phone price come down, as television price come down. So we are all only seeing ourselves as receiving from the state a policy benefit. And therefore, our citizenship was only limited to participating to the extent of promoting that flourishing of that consumer economy. But today, we have a prime minister who talks from not about partnership, not about provisioning, but he talks about Jan Bhagidari. He says we have to partner with the citizens. My mandate in the Capacity Building Commission, beyond the training which Swamiji explained, is to build state capacity. State capacity for what? State's capacity to disempower itself. It's a very strange situation. The state was empowered itself to such an extent that it thrives on information asymmetry, it thrives on power asymmetry. Because only if there's information asymmetry can I be more powerful. When you walk into, if I had practiced medicine, I stopped it 20 years ago, but if I am practicing medicine and you walk into my clinic or my hospital, you come in with the ignorance of your disease. And that gives me enormous power over you. I can control you. I can tell you what to do and you will go do it. If I say, don't eat this, today Google will go check, but those days you didn't have it. So the asymmetry of information leads to asymmetry of power. And today we have a prime minister who says, demolish this asymmetry of information. Therefore, demolish the asymmetry of power. Jan Bhagidari is our mandate. He even gave a call in the last Civil Services Day and said, Nagarik Devo Bhava. And when Swamiji was repeating about reverence, I got a very powerful insight from what Swamiji was talking, saying we are only asked to do, initially to do Jan Seva in our citizens, in our civil servants. Today now I have a new understanding. It will be Jan Seva with reverence. That is what is truly Nagarik Devo Bhava. Otherwise, Nagarik Deva Bhava can never happen. And for that, remember, don't clap your hands. Just take a minute more. If you have to be called gods, we have to also become gods. And that means if you have to be respected as Nagarik has to become a Deva, you have to also start becoming Devas now. And that is the enlightened citizenship that all of us have to walk. It's not easy, my friends. It's very easy for me to stand in a podium and say, the challenges are huge. And I had the privilege of taking the government, filing a case in the Human Rights Commission, saying the right of tribals to live and their livelihood was taken away by the state in the name of development many years ago. The battle was strong. They had built 4 dams in the place where I come from, where I was working. The park was declared a national park. It actually did not have the status of a national park. The government had only declared the intent to form a national park. Everybody forgot about it. The state forgot to even notify it. In our country, if you don't gazette notified, it doesn't get the sanctity of law. And they forgot it. But all of them are implementing it as a national park. I discovered it and said, this is not even a national park. Why are you getting us the rules of the national park? And that created a problem. So we had filed. The right to life had to be restored, we said. The right to livelihood has to be restored. People should be allowed to go into the forest. Because in a national park, you can't go into the forest. So when this battle was raging, we were not seeming to make much headway. The tribals were getting very restless. They wanted to become violent. They said, let's go beat up the forest officers. Let's go burn their jeeps. The usual response of citizenship. And I was deeply embedded in the thoughts of Tyaga and Seva that Swami Vivekananda gave, and Ahimsa and Satya that Mahatma Gandhi reminded us of those Vedantic values. And I was conflicted. How do I reconcile? On one side, if I don't do anything, the tribal started saying, Vivekananda says it so beautifully. He says 3 P's: purity, patience, perseverance. But he also says all good work has to go through 3 stages: ridicule, opposition, and finally comes acceptance. So when we started fighting the government, people ridiculed me. The government will crush you, they said. And then the government opposed me. But the biggest opposition came from my tribals themselves. They started saying, this fellow must have taken money from government. That is why he's not allowing us to fight violently. Otherwise, why should he worry? He should lead the violence. He's not allowing it means something has happened. He's already been bought by the government. It's very difficult when your ego responds, because at that time as a younger man, much more egoistic. So you get angry and say, I've given my life and come to the forest and you think I'm going to take bribe from the government? But so I was also under enormous pressure. The cause was important, but the battle we are losing. Very worn out. I was sitting in one day in a tribal colony, asking myself, what should I do next? And as always, I would go to Suresh Anji. And Suresh Anji told me, I may not be able to advise you now, but why don't you go talk to your own tribal elders who might possibly give you some better advice than what I can give you. Now that is actually the greatest advice Swamiji gave me, but he never portrayed as advising me. So I was wondering I know most of the tribals, but what is Swamiji trying to tell me? That is when it struck me that one of the chieftains of that area called Modli Madaya, who was not affected by this problem. Therefore, I did not even go to him. And when Sureshanji told me that I should go talk to him. So I went and met Modli Madaya, and he told me something very, very, very important. Because citizenship is not just an individual citizen. Citizenship is an evolution of societal momentum, which gets collectively expressed for the public good that we can all create. And I never understood it till I met Modli Madaya. He was a simple, ordinary tribal chieftain, whom all of us would dismiss off as ordinary, but was extraordinary in his thinking. He told me, you have a lot of convening power with the government, but I can amplify it if you take my convening power with the people. So the next 13 days, we walked. He said, until you're now faded and fatigued, the only way you can re-energize yourself is just do what I do, he said. I said, what do you want me to do? And we didn't know each other too well those days. He made me walk with him For the next 13 days, tribal colony to colony, we would walk. We must have covered at least 400, 500 kilometers in those 13 days. Hugely tiring job. I never thought I could do it. No food. The only thing we would get is in Kannada we say kadle puri. I don't know what is it said in Telugu. Huh? Murmuram. And black tea with jaggery. That was our food. Sleep on their floors. One day field rats were running over me. I got very nervous. But he made me go through what a tribal lives day in and day out in their lives those days. Those 13 days taught me what these people are going through and what I was fighting for to change. 13th day he told me, now if you are not inspired, you should drop the battle. He showed me what citizenship is. It's an experience of the other, not of your perception of the other. You can all describe poverty, but until you live that poverty, you will never understand poverty. Then what Swamiji was talking in the video, is any action to fight poverty will be contemptuous of poverty. If it has to come with reverence, you have to have the experience of what the other is going through. And in that experience, understand there is no other at all. So those 13 days was an extraordinary way of demonstrating to me what real citizenship in action meant. I was thinking I am something extraordinary. But what Mudli Madhe showed me as an ordinary, simple tribal, never attended school, never studied civics like we have studied in a school, as a subject, but lived the civics that humanity demanded. And it was an extraordinary experience. Then it redoubled my energy. But I asked a simple question to Mudli Madhaya. Why was he interested in supporting me? Because I belong to the transactional world, where you don't do something until you get something in return. Mudli Madhaya was not going to get any benefit. He was not affected by the dams or by the forest, national park. He was outside it already. But he said something which is what true leadership is. He said, it is a battle that you fight, the cause that you're fighting this battle for, that matters to leaders. It is not me seem to be fighting that battle or getting something from fighting that battle. Today, we have leaders who want to be seen all the time fighting for something, because only then society will validate their existence itself. And then they have to get something out of it. They will say, 20 years I struggled for this country. Shouldn't my son also be a minister? No, this kind of narratives we all hear. But Mudli Madhya taught me that true citizenship is not transactional at all. It is about becoming one with your motherland, one with your country, and in that act of oneness, surrendering and giving yourself completely, the archana that Swamiji said, the arpana that we have to do, completely giving ourselves to this larger cause, this cause of nation building. So that journey that we all go through, that evolution we go through, is what leads us to enlightenment. Because I don't see a difference between Advaita and citizenship at all, where the space of oneness and interconnectedness that we can feel. If we cannot feel for that last village in Meghalaya, I don't know how many of you visit northeastern parts of India. If you cannot, and some of you who are visiting will have an idea, or if you cannot feel for that little village in Mizoram or border Tripura, where it's not just a boundary line. We can sit here and say, don't let the Bangladeshis inside our country as a matter of politics. But they're relatives living just one. Somebody drew a line and said, that is Bangladesh, this is India, but for them it's everyday existence. How do you tell these people on this side saying you hate them, and how do you tell them that you continue to hate these people? It doesn't work that way. Because citizenship as a passport draws a line or a boundary. Citizenship as a value makes you human and belonging to the whole world. And a nation which gives Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam to the world only can understand global citizenship. It can never truly limit it to just a national citizenship. National citizenship is one expression. Like Vivekananda says, we constantly expand our thinking to the outside. We might begin selfishly with ourselves. And then we may expand it to our family. We may expand it to a village, to a state, to a district, to a state, to a nation. But if this idea of citizenship does not expand to every human being or every living organism in this world, then that is not truly citizenship. Because what we have given ourselves in the last decades, a couple of decades, is crisis, conflict, and we have made a world a mess. We have managed to create 3 crises that we cannot solve, or we are not even thinking of solving, in my opinion. We are talking of solving. How many of you follow the global events? I'm not aware. But recently we had the 30th time the global leaders are coming together to save the earth. COP30 was held in Brazil. Absolute zero output. After 30 times of meeting year after year, spending millions and millions of dollars for every event that they have in the air-conditioned rooms and locations. It's always in top locations. I can never figure out. In fact, I was telling somebody they should come and hold it in my forest. That is where you should discuss environment, not in a resort in Egypt or in Brazil or in India. But that's the way the world moves on its mark. But nothing came out of it. We have created an ecological crisis of unprecedented proportions. If citizenship was truly enlightened, we wouldn't be where we are today. And to me, that is the evidence why we need to enlighten ourselves. Second crisis we have created is an unbelievable socio-economic crisis. Today, it's no longer, people can say India's caste system is a problem. What nonsense are we talking? There's a caste and class system everywhere in the world. Technology is the biggest divider today. It's the biggest creator of a caste which creates companies whose annual turnover is bigger than the GDPs of several nations put together. It's a sad fact that one man running a car company can have an annual salary of $1 trillion a year, and our GDP is just touching $4 trillion a year. That means 25% of India's GDP is the salary of one man in this world. How can that even be anywhere close to enlightenment? So we are going through an enormous crisis which we can never resolve unless we make up our minds and really, really understand when Vivekananda said, selfishness is sin, and we start living that if we continue to exist like this, we are sinning every day. But that takes a lot of enlightenment, my friends. It's easy to say about the others. It's like that person in the street who told me, my house is getting tired, you're sitting at home, come and fight my battle for me. We have to all wake up to fight this battle for all of us, not just for one of us. And the third crisis, the more worrisome crisis, and that is why I believe occasions like this. To me, when I was a younger boy, I still remember, my mother would force me to go to Balavihar classes. The Swami Chinmaya Mission would run Balavihar classes every Saturday. I was youngest in the family. Saturday afternoon was cricket time. And my mother thought it is Bajan time. Unfortunately, if you have an older brother and sister who believed your mother, then you have a serious problem. Because they'll come back home and say, Balu was not in the class. So every occasion I would get to escape playing cricket, I would go off. And my mother would give me quite a spanking those days. And then I discovered, my sister gave me one day that laddu they gave us prasad. The laddu was quite tasty. So I decided next week I'll go for the laddu. But then without knowing, you just get involved and so many things happen. My introduction to the Gita happened in those classes. But I'm narrating this here because you don't even know what you get when you have satsang like this. We think we are going to hear some pravachans by some distinguished monks. We'll have bhajans, we'll have meditation. We feel nice. But what you don't know is you're quietly awakening the process of enlightened citizenship inside each one of you. Whether you like it or not, want it or not, the button is pressed now. So we may not even recognize it because we start becoming that. And when you start, the only evidence of you becoming that is when your neighbors notice, when your family notices, when your classmates notice. My classmates, Saturday, Swami Ranganathanandaji would have a class for only medical students in Mysore. It was an extraordinary time. His prasad also was very tasty laddus he would give. The hall would be full. If you come late, you can't get a place to sit. And Swamiji had his own humorous way of communicating Ramakrishna and Vivekananda to us. But whether we really absorbed Vivekananda or Ramakrishna, we enjoyed his prasad. But what we did not realize was prasad is a momentous, temporary feeling of good pleasure you get. But what Swamiji was very, very intelligently putting into our heads was something which we never recognized. That once Vivekananda gets into you, you can't take it out of you. So once you come and sit here, you cannot but become an enlightened citizen, start your journey of the enlightened citizenship. And it works in magical ways. You know, Swamiji was talking about vibrations of this campus. I've written about this. And I do believe it's a vibration that you can't even understand. And the real experience was, one day I had come from my forest to Mysore. And I was waiting at the signal light near Ramakrishna Ashram, Mysore. There's a small signal light in the road junction there. To cross, I had got down from the bus, and to cross I was waiting. And I didn't notice much because you're looking at the traffic and all that. So suddenly you heard a big fight happening on the footpath. It was just beside the Ramakrishna Ashram. And I looked what was happening. A lady selling banana, street vendor, was fighting with the person who was buying. And we Indians are very special. We'll go to these big shops, that Reliance, this Food Mart, etc. They'll pack it in plastic, no argument, no bargaining. 10 bananas, 100 rupees, you'll simply buy and come. The poor lady is sending 10 bananas for 90 rupees, you'll say, give me 12. No, we are a very unique feature in India. We actually exploit the poor, and then we think we are enlightened citizens. And we pamper the rich. But we don't see the iniquities that we create ourselves there. It's very nice for us. So I was also looking at it. This man was bargaining those days. For 10 rupees, he wanted a dozen bananas, and she was willing to give only 10. It is 1 banana is 1 rupee. You give 2 rupees more, I'll give. It became a big fight. Finally, she got so frustrated with this buyer. She said, go to hell. I will not sell to you at all. Go. The fight ended there. But when the fight ended, all of us heard a small child crying. A little girl child crying. And then we looked at it. I was just looking at it. Unhesitatingly, this elderly lady who was fighting not to give 2 bananas for 10 extra bananas, where she could have also sold the 10 also for 10 rupees, plucked 2 bananas and give it to this child. I was shocked, and I was also, as usual, I love to watch human behavior. I went to her and said, what did you just do? You were fighting not to give those 2 bananas, you gave it away free. And she said, no, I didn't give it free. I gave it to the child to fill her stomach. Look at the way she looked at herself. I said, how do you know child is hungry? She said, I am a mother. Can you see the building the corner of a new building was getting built? Her mother, and she was from Andhra. The child did not know Kannada also. She said that mother is working there. This poor child must not have had her breakfast. She's walked across the road somewhere. She's come to me. If I don't give the bananas, just imagine what can happen to this child. I have had a child too. Now, my friends, that is enlightened citizenship. When you see your child in that child, when you see yourself in that, then I was tempted to ask her, because Guru Maharaj says, Shivajnani Jiva Seva. So I asked her, do you know where you're sitting? She said, I don't know. I said, do you know Ramakrishna Ashram? She said, I don't know. Have you heard of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Vivekananda? She said, I don't know all that. But listen, without knowing, she was living Guru Maharaj's principles. And to me, that is the vibration effect. She's selling fruits outside the ashram without knowing it. She's living Guru Maharaj's philosophy. To me, these are all the evidences that once you come here, you cannot but change. You cannot but evolve. You cannot but express yourself for better good. So, similarly, I was in a small village I had gone. We run a large palliative care program because I believe everybody should die with dignity, especially those who have access to living with dignity. And so in one village, I got some tension was happening in that village because of palliative. My team came and told me, so I went there. Then I realized there were some 7 or 8 women who had got elected as Panchayat members. And these 7, 8 women actually picked a fight with the entire village because one household, supposed to be in the typical Indian way, upper caste household, had abandoned their elderly mother after the property was all divided, and she was very sick, covered with pus. I couldn't enter the little corner she was thrown into. And these women felt very bad for her, and they tried to get the family to take care, they could not. They came to us and said, can you help us clean her wounds? They didn't come to us and said, you clean and give. They said, we want to learn how to clean her wounds. They sat, cleaned, learned from us, started caring for her. And because their Panchayat members had the audacity to call for a Panchayat meeting, passed a resolution saying if the house does not take care of this woman, they're going to register a police complaint of abandonment, because by the time that law had come. But the beauty of this whole thing was that care they showed. No connection to that except that they were the willingness to fight at great discomfort. Now, how many of us will take on a public cause at great discomfort for ourselves? If you start doing it, that's evidence of your evolving public, your enlightened citizenship. Enlightened citizenship is not getting enlightened sitting in the Himalayan caves. Enlightened citizenship is participating in democratic processes every day of your life, every moment of your life, living in this conflict-ridden world. Because what we need, the third crisis, the crisis of the self, which you and I can solve. We can always say we can't solve the ecological crisis, it's too big. We can always say we can't solve the socio-economic crisis, it's too big. But what we can solve is the crisis of the self. And that is what we decided. When the Prime Minister says Jan Bhagidari, where do we begin? We cannot reach 1.4 billion citizens. It's too big a mandate. But can we reach the 40 million civil servants across this country and get them to understand what PM says as Pradhan? He says, I am Pradhan Sevak. Can you tell them they are also Sevaks? Can you tell them to move away from rule-based thinking to a role-based approach? My dharma, my role is to serve. And we thought it should be easy, is what we thought. But it's not, I realize now today. So we said, what do you need to understand this journey of enlightened citizenship? We said, first understand yourself. Solve the crisis of the self. Do the swadhyaya that the Gita says. Just get into it, ask yourself, who am I? Why am I in government? Just because I cleared a UPSC exam, am I so privileged? What is the difference between the other and me? Then we say, you cannot do it alone. Enlightened citizenship is not a one-way street. We have to work with the citizens, not for the citizens. That's a huge shift. Citizens also cannot work for themselves. They have to work with other citizens. It's a two-way street. Like for both sides, it's the same. So we said sahakaryata is extremely critical. And then to deliver, we talk about Rajya Karma and how do you do it. But then the final thing we say, the dharma, swadharma, for a civil servant is to see the equal, you see the divine in the other. Reverence is something which is so practical. No, I'm going to apply it immediately. But we would simply tell him, imagine God in them. Imagination is not going to work, I realize now. We can respect the other in them. And for the government official, it is dharma is to serve. But for the citizens, the dharma is to be worthy enough of being served as God. And I think that's a big journey, my friends. Today, when the government offers everything free, I don't know about Telangana, I know in my state I come from, everything is guaranteed except citizenship. Because you get this guarantee free, that guarantee free, whatever guarantees. I wrote an article saying the Karnataka government also gives pothole guarantees. They guarantee potholes on the roads also, so you don't have to repair them at all. So here also we'll have a lot of guarantees. But I think if you truly want to understand citizenship and you want to guarantee governance for yourself, you must see yourself as equal to the state. And the real enlightenment is when power inequities, power asymmetries are dismantled. When you start asserting yourself not in an aggressive, confrontational way, but in a collaborative, sahakaryata way, where you say, together we'll make this nation great. You means the government in you, the government servant in each citizen, and the citizen in every government servant. We only say if you take salary from government, you're a government servant. No. Anybody serving this nation to govern ourselves is also a government servant. We may not take a salary, we take the benefits of what our taxes give us, but the state might have a set of people meant to be doing what we are asking them to do. All this is that journey of enlightened citizenship. So when Swamiji talks of excellence, when Swamiji talks of, I in a very vyavaharik way, look at it in a simplistic way and vyavaharik way also. In the organization that I had founded and run for some years, the Vivekananda Youth Movement, because our young volunteers had to go into the field, into the villages, and there were no roads, so we would give them two-wheelers. So we would buy two-wheelers and give them, ask them to take it and go. It was a constant problem, maintenance. We could never maintain it. Every time my transport in charge would come and say, sir, I'm tired of this. Every 3 days, we should have a garage in our campus, he would say. Then he suggested something which to me is the beginning of citizenship. He said, why should we give them vehicles, sir? We'll give them money to buy a vehicle. And that's all we did. After that, no maintenance charge. And we said, per kilometer, we'll pay you so much. Then they're so careful, they won't allow the friend also to touch the vehicle. Because it becomes theirs. They will not allow anybody to come near their vehicle. So ownership makes a big difference in our thinking. If you can own this nation, if you can own everything beyond the narrow confines of selfishness, every Indian is my fellow citizen. Every state is my state. Why are we talking about Andhra, Karnataka? They're all geographical boundaries which somebody based on language decided 78 years ago to make us all like this. What if we were all together? What difference would it have made? And the real understanding of Swamiji and Ramakrishna is that we don't even separate based on religion or gods. We just see the universal in everybody. And if this nation can understand that, and if you take that ownership of the universal, if you can take ownership of every living organism in this country, I think that is the way your journey will start. And most of us have to evolve. The next problem is, people ask me, can we do something? And the easiest thing is write a check. I can't do much. Hyderabad Ashram is doing a lot of social work. I'll give a check to Swami Bodhabayanji. I am done with it. Yes, it's important. You have to continue to do it. I couldn't have done all the work without my classmates being in America and London, and they would say, poor Balu, write a check for him. But today I believe financial poverty is not a problem. The real problem is all of you in this room. The voice poverty our nation is suffering from. You don't speak up. You don't speak out. You don't speak when it's important. This voice poverty is what is pulling down this nation. And if we can fight this voice poverty with citizenship and enlightenment, I think Vikasit Bharat will not be a dream. Vikasit Bharat will not have to wait till 2047 to happen. It can happen much faster. So Seva and Tyaga continue to be our national ideals, like Swami Vivekananda said. And the true expression of Seva and Tyaga is a sadhana we have to do. And that sadhana is what is enlightenment, will get you the enlightenment that we're talking about. And to me, finally, in conclusion, I want to be practical. A lot of young people call me. I meet a lot of young people, young officers. I go to colleges. There's no point, like Vivekananda said, you can't talk Bhagavad Gita on an empty stomach. Today's world of AI and ML and everybody earning in millions and discussing on the campus, not what I can do to serve this country, but what will be your joining salary, what will be your joining bond. Those are realities. So if you have to talk about Seva, we cannot talk about Seva in exclusion. I have now realized we begin by saying, look for private gains. You cannot ask a young 20-year-old not to seek private gains because he's grown up in that culture of seeking private gains. But can we expand the formula for them and say the journey of citizenship, the walk towards enlightenment, is you take care of your private gains, but do the private gains for expressing public good. So if you can see private gains in public good, that is the real way of enlightened citizenship. And that is exactly what Vivekananda reminded us and gave it as the motto of the order itself. Atmano mokshartam jagathitayacha. The real enlightened citizenship is my moksha, either through and by doing welfare of the world and the welfare of the world. And I can do both, then that will be the highest expression of private gains along with public good. And that is the way for the world to move ahead. Namaste.
We are extremely thankful for his purposeful and thoughtful presentation on enlightened citizenship, personal experiences, and the way things are in the society today. More than receiving, we have to start giving. Not just sympathy, but more of empathy and empathetic action. We told this small example in front of Ramakrishna Ashrama, Mysore, about the 2 bananas. Then I remembered my own personal experience, Balu. And this has happened 4 or 5 times. Keep guiding the youngsters in this. One day I was returning from Warangal back to Hyderabad. It was about to rain, cloudy. We are in the traffic junction, the bus stand. Then one elderly lady knocked the window of our car and I lowered it. She was with burqa and she asked Swamiji, a kalam lijiye, kalam. She was having good stock of kalam, pens, long size pens, fancy pens. I said, how much? 20 rupees. One pen is 20 rupees. Then since it countdown is there 90 seconds, traffic, I asked her, if I buy one pen, how much will you get? To my shock, she said, I get 2 rupees. And for the 2 rupees, this old lady, is running from road to road, junction to junction, wherever there is red signal. Imagine the condition in 21st century India. Then I asked her, how many pens you have? She said, 25 pens I have. I said, give me all the 25 pens. How much it costs? 25 to 20? 500 rupees. I gave 500 rupee note. Wait, Swami. Thoda rukhiye. I stopped. From her bag, she returned 100 rupees to me. It brings tears to my eyes even now. Started pouring, raining. She said, rukiye, 100 rupees back. I said, why are you giving me 100 rupees back? You are getting only 2 rupees per pen. आपके लिए मेरा discount है. She should be in ISB teaching what is business. Very interesting. And she was so happy that in one stroke, she could sell off all the 25 pens. And as we started moving towards Hyderabad, our driver was curious. Swamiji, ఎందుకు కొన్నారు 25 పెన్లు? మీరేం చేస్తారు? మీకు చాలా ఉన్నాయి కదా? I said, తమ్ముడు, ప్రతి ఆదివారం ఎవరో ఒక పిల్లలు ఇక్కడికి వస్తారు. 300 మంది నాకు పిల్లలు ఉన్నారు. Inevitably, somebody will have birthday. So here is one pen for you, one chocolate for you, one laddu for you. Now 3 people are happy. One is I am happy. That young girl or young boy is happy for Balavikas. And that old lady is still happy there. 3 in 1. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna will bless. And regarding this bargain, when you were telling about bargaining that 2 bananas, we were going to the secretariat one day to meet one minister. It was winter time like this, cold, 12 degrees. Then again junction, one middle-aged lady comes, knocks the window, lowers down, same story. She was selling strawberries. Manchi packet jesi amutunda. How much it is? 60 rupees. How many were there? 20 in 2 levels, 10 and 10. 20, 60 rupees. 3 rupees okoti. I was about to bargain. It came up to the tip of my mouth. 60 rupayala. Ani adugudam anukunna. I saw one tiny girl with a haggard, dry hair, torn frock, no slippers, holding that Amma's hand. I said, shame upon me to ask, why 60 rupees? Without asking, gave her 60 rupees, brought that 20 strawberries, gave to our volunteers. Kel Katham? No. See the coincidence, after 15 days, again same story. Now, from somewhere that lady is coming running at 9:30 in the morning. She is running towards our car because Ramakrishna Math label is there. I lowered, I recognized her. And what? 15 days strong data she has had in her brain. She has seen many thousands in this road. But when I lowered the window of our car, she said, Namaste Swamiji, Bagunnara. Wow. What a memory power. 15 రోజుల ముందు ఎవరో ఒకటి సన్యాసి 60 రూపాయలు కొట్టి కొనుక్కొని వెళ్ళిపోయాడు. But she is remembering that. And then I wanted 2 packets, 120 rupees. Same story. She gave me 15 rupees back. మీరు 2 కొన్నారు కాబట్టి మీకు 15 రూపాయలు తిరిగి ఇస్తాను. And the scooter wala was beside was asking her, how much? Strawberries ఎంతకు అమ్ముతావు? She cannot tell it is 60 rupees. For him, she said 55 rupees. Because if she says 60 rupees and she is giving me, I am giving her only 55. Adi abaddham avutundi. So she gave it only for 55 to that man. And enta varaku this delicacy, this sensitivity is there in the common man, in the poor people, is very, very important. Swami Ranganathanandaji embodied that. Sudarshan Maharaj writes, his secretary, his Pradhan Sevak, Maharaj doesn't take food which is given in the flights, Air India flight at the time, but he used to take the whole packet, put in his bag. Sudarshan Maharaj used to get surprised. When you don't eat, why are you taking it? You have your own diet kada? ఎందుకు తీసుకుంటున్నారు అని జస్ట్ తమాషగా అడిగితే యూ డోంట్ నో కీప్ క్వైట్ ఇన్ ఇస్ ది ఫన్నీ స్టైల్ యూ డోంట్ నో కీప్ క్వైట్ సైలెంట్గా ఉన్నారు క్యారీ దట్ ఫుడ్ ప్యాకెట్ అప్ టు ద గేట్ నెంబర్ 2 హియర్ అండ్ ఇన్ఎవిటబుల్లీ వన్ poor man was sitting there. Every time he will get up and do namaskaram, he says that food packet is to the poor man. Look at that stalwart of Harvard University and Pradhana Indira Gandhi's National Integration Award winner, and everybody used to come and sit here in this hall, from the prime ministers to the chief ministers to the IAS officers. He remembers that beggar sitting in front of gate number 2 and does namaste to the man. Maharaj gives him that food packet. He doesn't take, but somebody else can take. And Maharaj said, see Ramakrishna, when he did not get prasadam from Dakshineshwar temple, he used to send somebody to get it. Otherwise these fellows will misuse it. So we paid for it for Air India. Now I'll take it, utilize it for some good purpose, for somebody. That is how all our devotees, all our youth, youngsters in this hall, younger generation who is coming up, should follow these great lessons. Nanyah pantha vidyate ayanaya. There is no other path other than this. To become enlightened is our purpose. Atmano moksha jagatita. Beautifully ended with his Swamiji's mission and our action. We have to take it up, and we are extremely thankful to Balu for his time, and he has to go back at 2 o'clock flight. And we convey our greetings, namaskars, good wishes. Pray to Ranganathanji and the holy trio to give him more health, more strength, so that more guidance to the younger generation is required, because today's younger generation are misguided missiles. So much energy, so many facilities, so much of money, but going in the wrong direction. But excellent people are there. Wonderful work is going on in villages, in NGOs, and many are coming away from America also and starting some NGO programs here. So this enlightenment should go far and wide. We have launched a good new program called Urban Youth to Rural Youth through VIHE. So every Sunday, whenever Gramashri medical camp goes, we send some volunteers to interact with that 10th standard +1, +2 students, give them confidence, give them the right road, give them the duties, and make them inspired citizens of, whether you are in Medak, whether you are in Aidilabad, whether you are in Huzur Nagar. This message has to go. Ranganathan did it all over the states, and we also carry on that legacy. So this memorial lecture is indeed memorable. Is it not? So big round of applause for Dr. R. Balasubramaniam and your good wishes and blessings to him. Please accept a token of love and affection. So we have a small break, 15 minutes. Toilets are there, washroom on the back side, water also. You can finish and quickly come for a special bhajan session by our guest monks who have come from Kamarpukur and Pune. So devotees who want to go, just finish and come back within 15 minutes, please. Thank you. Namaskaram. Hello. Mic check, hello. All devotees who are outside, please come back. We'll start our next session, which is bhajans for some time. If you participate well, then only bhojan. Otherwise, upvas. Ha bho. Shambho. తొందరగా వచ్చేయండి అందరూ. వాలంటీర్స్ ప్లీజ్ అనౌన్స్. So we have with us our young brother monk, Swami Ranganathanandaji, who is headmaster currently of the Ramakrishna Mission Multipurpose Higher Secondary School in Kamarpukur. See, Sri Ramakrishna did not go to school, but he is the headmaster of Sri Ramakrishna school. What a wonder. Ramakrishna school means he used to run away to Manik Raja Bagan, to Mango Grove, and do drama there. But this Swami is qualified to become headmaster of Kamarpukur Ramakrishna Mission School. That is how Sri Ramakrishna makes things work. So in Bengal, many of our Swamis who are qualified are headmasters or principals. In other states, that rule is not there. In Bengal, this is permitted because of their educational qualification. So he is currently the headmaster. He is disciple of most revered Srimad Swami Gahananji Maharaj and joined the order in 1998. Received Brahmacharya Diksha from most revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj in 2004 and Sannyasa from Atmasthanji in 2008. So in different capacities he worked in different centers as the headmaster in Baranagar Ramakrishna Mission, in Taki Ramakrishna Mission, and now in Kamarpukur Ramakrishna Mission. Before that he was in Vidya Mandir also near Belur Math. So he has accepted our invitation all the way coming from Kamarpukur. He is a specialist in Kali Kirtan and prayer bhajans of various kinds. He has come here after 11 years. We invited him in 2014 for a national level youth convention. So I thought he is a fit instrument, youngster, to sing bhajans and also make you participate in this Bhajanotsav on the occasion of Ranganathanji Memorial Lecture. Over to Swami Kalyaneshananda. Accompanying on the tabla is our volunteer devotee, Harnath, and our Swami is there, editor of Ramakrishna Prabha, Swami Suteshananda. Thank you. Jai Ramakrishna.
Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagat Gurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Moho Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagat Gurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupine Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupine avatara varishtaya avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानंद सूराय। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानंद सूराय। सच्चित् सुख स्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देव महेश्वर। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देव महेश्वर। गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। सरस्वती महाभागे विद्ये कमलो लोचने। विश्वरूपे विशालाक्षि विश्वरूपे विशालाक्षि विद्यां देहि नमस्तुते। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। मीरार भजन। साधन करना चाहिए मनुआ, भजन करना चाहिए। प्रेम लगाना चाहिए मनुआ, प्रेम लगाना चाहिए मनुआ। प्रीत करना चाहिए, साधन करना चाहिए मनुआ, भजन करना चाहिए। साधन करना चाहिए मनुआ, भजन करना चाहिए। प्रेम लगाना चाहिए मनुआ, प्रेम लगाना चाहिए मनुआ, प्रीति करना चाहिए। साधन करना चाहिए मनुआ, भजन करना चाहिए। नित नहन से हरि मिले तो जल जंतु होए। नित नहन से हरि मिले तो जल जंतु होए। फल मूल खा के हरि मिले तो, फल मूल खा के हरि मिले तो बादुर बादराई। साधन करना चाहिए मनुआ, भजन करना चाहिए। तुलसी पूजन से हरि मिले तो मैं पूजू तुलसी झाड़। तुलसी पूजन से हरि मिले तो मैं पूजू तुलसी झाड़। पाथर पूजन से हरि मिले तो, पाथर पूजन से हरि मिले तो मैं पूजू पहाड़। साधन करना चाहिए मनुआ, भजन करना चाहिए। तिरन भखन से हरि मिले तो, तिरन भखन से हरि मिले तो बहुत मृगी आजा। तिरन भखन से हरि मिले तो बहुत मृगी आजा। स्त्री छोड़न से हरि मिले तो, स्त्री छोड़न से हरि मिले तो बहुत राहे खोजा। साधन करना चाहिए मनुआ, भजन करना चाहिए। दूध पीने से हरि मिले तो बहुत वत्स वाला। दूध पीने से हरि मिले तो बहुत वत्स वाला। मीरा कहे बिना प्रेम से, मीरा कहे, मीरा कहे बिना प्रेम से, मीरा कहे। मीरा कहे मीरा कहे बिना प्रेम से, मीरा कहे बिना प्रेम से नहीं मिले नंदलाला। साधन करना चाहिए मनुआ, भजन करना चाहिए। प्रेम लगाना चाहिए मनुआ, प्रेम लगाना चाहिए मनुआ, प्रीति करना चाहिए। साधन करना चाहिए मनुआ, भजन करना चाहिए। साधन करना चाहिए मनुआ, भजन करना चाहिए। भजन करना चाहिए, भजन करना चाहिए। तुलसीदास भजन, तुलसी भजन, राम भजन। भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम। मनुआ मनुआ मनुआ, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम। सीताराम सीताराम सीताराम, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम। जो हरि गुण गावे, दीन दिया जो हरि गुण गावे, गुरु दिया जो नाम, गुरु दिया जो नाम। भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम। मनुआ मनुआ मनुआ, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम। रामगढ़ के बैठे राम जी, रामगढ़ के बैठे राम जी, सबकी मजरा लीजे, सबकी मजरा लीजे। रामगढ़ के बैठे राम जी, सबकी मजरा लीजे। जो जैसा नकरी करेगा, जो जैसा नकरी करेगा, उनको तैसा दीजे। भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम। सीताराम सीताराम सीताराम, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम। लड़का वाला लालन पालन, लड़का वाला लालन पालन, तिनको दूध पिलावे, तिनको दूध पिलावे। मरण काल में शरण लेके, मरण काल में, मरण काल में शरण लेके बाबा कर बोलाए। भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम मनुआ, मनुआ, मनुआ। भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम। एक नर भूले दू नर भूले, एक नर भूले दू नर भूले, भूले जगत संसार, भूले जगत संसार। एक नर भूले दू नर भूले, भूले जगत संसार। जान सुन के जो नर भूले, जान सुन के, जान सुन के जो नर भूले, उनकी नहीं पार। भजले सीता नाम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम। सीताराम, 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 सीताराम। भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम, भजले सीताराम रे मनुआ, भजले सीताराम। सीताराम, 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 सीताराम। शिव भजन composed by me.
బాగా పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయండి. సమాధిలోకి వెళ్ళిపోయారా? భోజనం తర్వాత అయితే అండర్స్టాండ్, ఇప్పుడే చప్పట్లు కొడితే బాడీ వేడెక్కుతుంది. చపాతీలు బాగా తినచ్చు, అంటే చపాతీలు పెడతామని కాదు, తోతాపురి అన్నాడు కదా చపాతీలు చేస్తున్నావా అని. అయినా మనం చప్పట్లు కొట్టాలి. రిథమిక్ రిథమిక్ రిథమిక్.
ఓ ॐ त्र्यम्बकं जजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धना मृत्युर्मक्षीयमामृता ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्युर्मुक्षीयमामृता ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय शान्ताय कारणत्रय हेतवे निवेदयामि चात्मानं तं गति परमेश्वर ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात् तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्युर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 शान्ताय कारणत्रय हेतवे निवेदयामि चात्मानं तं गति परमेश्वर ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात् तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय शान्ताय कारणत्रय हेतवे निवेदयामि चात्मानं तं गति परमेश्वर ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय এটি বেঙ্গলি সং যাদের হরি বলতে নয়ন ঝরে श्री ठाकुर स्वयं गाते हैं। तो और एक माँ शारदा भजन जेखाने मायर नाम सेखाने आनंद धाम। যেখানে মায়ের নাম সেখানে আনন্দ ধাম, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। যেখানে মায়ের নাম সেখানে আনন্দ ধাম, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। জয় মা, 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 জয় মা। যেখানে মায়ের নাম সেখানে আনন্দ ধাম, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। যেখানে মায়ের নাম সেখানে আনন্দ ধাম, আনন্দম। যেখানে মায়ের কথা সেখানে জুড়ায় ব্যথা, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। যেখানে মায়ের কথা সেখানে জুড়ায় ব্যথা, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। জয় মা, 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 জয় মা। যেখানে মায়ের স্মৃতি সেখানে অধিক প্রীতি, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। যেখানে মায়ের স্মৃতি সেখানে অধিক প্রীতি, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। জয় মা, 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 জয় মা। যেখানে মাতৃলোক সেখানে নাই শোক, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। যেখানে মাতৃলোক সেখানে নাই শোক, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। জয় মা, 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 জয় মা। যেখানে মায়ের কথা সেখানে জুড়ায় ব্যথা, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। যেখানে মায়ের কথা সেখানে জুড়ায় ব্যথা, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। জয় মা, 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 জয় মা। যেখানে মায়ের গান সেখানে জুড়ায় প্রাণ, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। যেখানে মায়ের গান সেখানে জুড়ায় প্রাণ, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। জয় মা, 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 জয় মা। যেখানে মায়ের নাম সেখানে গোলক ধাম, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। যেখানে মায়ের নাম সেখানে গোলক ধাম, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। জয় মা, জয় মা, জয় মা, জয় মা, জয় মা, জয় মা। যেখানে মাকে পাওয়া ঘুচাবে সকল চাওয়া, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। যেখানে মাকে পাওয়া ঘুচাবে সকল চাওয়া, আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম। জয় মা, জয় মা, জয় মা, জয় মা, জয় মা, জয় মা, জপরে মায়ের নাম পাবে আনন্দম, শুধু আনন্দ। ভজরে মায়ের নাম, জপরে মায়ের নাম পাবে আনন্দম, শুধু আনন্দম। জয় মা, 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 জয়, 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 জয় মা, 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 জয় মা। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ तत्सत्। श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। जय श्री गुरु महाराज जी की जय। जय महामाई की जय। जय स्वामी जी महाराज जी की जय। जय स्वामी रंगनाथानंद महाराज जी की जय।
హలో 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 హలో. ఆనందం 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 అని పాడుతూ ఉంటే ఇక్కడ మొబైల్ ఆనందంలో ఉన్నారు కొంతమంది. ఏం ఆశ్చర్యం, కిమాశ్చర్యం అతఃపరం అన్నాడు యుధిష్ఠిరుడు. ఆ కాలంలో ఎవరో చచ్చిపోతూ ఉంటే నేను మాత్రం బతుకుతున్నాను అనే భావం ఉండేది. అతాశ్చర్యం, మహాశ్చర్యం. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ ఆశ్చర్యం. వాటే పిటి. భక్తులు బొకా హోనా భక్తో హోవు, పిచ్చోడవకండి. ఏం అంత అవసరం? కొంచెం పోలీస్ యాక్షన్ చేశా మధ్యలో డ్రామా. ఒకడు మొట్టికాయ వేసా, ఒకడు మొబైల్ సీజ్ చేయడానికి ప్రయత్నించా. అడిగి ఎంత ఇదంటే మొబైల్ భక్తి ఇచ్చేయకూడదు. గురుమహారాజీకి పోతే పోయింది. సైతాన్ భజన ఉత్సవ, మొబైల్ ఉత్సవ కాదు. అది ఎప్పుడు ఉంటుంది ఆ చెత్త. మెసేజ్ వస్తుంది, ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తుంది? నరేంద్ర మోదీ. ఎవరు అడిగారంట, ఈ జయమా 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 అని అమ్మే కైలాసం దిగొస్తే పదండి అక్కడ ఆనందంగా ఉంటామంటే, ఉండు మా అమ్మ భోజనం చేయాలి ఇక్కడ. వీఆర్ నాట్ రెడీ టు గో. ఓన్లీ ఏదో డిజైర్, కోరిక, మోక్షం కావాలని. ఓన్లీ ఒకడే శరీరంతో వెళ్ళాడు, సంత్ తుకారాం. శరీరంతో వెళ్ళిపోయాడు ఆయన. రేరెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ రేర్ కేసెస్. పుష్పక విమానం వచ్చింది, నారాయణ వచ్చి తీసుకువెళ్ళాడు విత్ ద బాడీ. నోబడీ ఎల్స్ కుడ్ గో. షీ వాజ్ రెడీ. ఆయన అభంగాస్ మధ్యాహ్నం వింటారు. తుకారాం అభంగాస్, పూణే నుంచి వచ్చిన స్వామి. అప్పుడు రెడీగా ఉండండి, 5ంటికి చూద్దాం ఎంత ఉత్సాహంగా ఉన్నారు. So thank you, Swami. Kalyan Eshanji, you took us to the level of Thakur, Kamar Pukur, and Tulsidas, Mirabai, అన్ని భజన్లు మధ్యాహ్నం కూడా స్వామి పాడతారు. మ్యూచువల్ భజనోత్సవం జరుగుతుంది. ఒకటి పూణే, కామార్పుకూర్ పూణే, మధ్యలో హైదరాబాద్ బిర్యానీ. విల్ మీట్ అగైన్ అండ్ అగైన్ అండ్ అగైన్. సాయంత్రం కూడా ఉంటుంది ఎక్కడ టెంపుల్లో భజన్ ఆరతి తర్వాత. ఊరిన పిలుచుకొచ్చింది అంతట ఫ్లైట్లో వచ్చారు. వీ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ ట్యాక్స్ ఆల్సో. 4-5 సెషన్స్ ఇచ్చాం ఇద్దరికిను. So use the discrimination. Where am I? Why am I? Is it necessary to use the mobile? వీడియోలో తీయక్కర్లా. ఇట్ హోల్ థింగ్ ఈజ్ అప్లోడెడ్. లైవ్ స్ట్రీమింగ్ జరుగుతుంది. భారతదేశంలో భక్తులందరూ చూస్తున్నారు. బాంబేలో, పూణే, బెంగళూరులో అందరూ చూస్తున్నారు. వీఆర్ ఎంజాయింగ్. యూ ఆర్ ఫిజికలీ ప్రజెంట్ ఆఫ్లైన్. సో బీ ఆఫ్లైన్ ఓన్లీ. డోంట్ అగైన్ గో ఇన్ టు దట్ మెస్. ఇదే సిటిజన్షిప్, ఎన్లైటెండ్ సిటిజన్షిప్. అది అవసరమా? సో దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో టు బీ థాట్ ఆఫ్. Why we are so dull and numb and get addicted, and you tell your children don't be addicted? You should have that. No, thought ostadi. Yes, thought ostundi. Human nature. We are not perfect. We are not brahmagnanis. A thought vachinappude real challenge. Andike bhajana. Participate. Forget yourself. Forget your ego. Lajja, bhai, gruna chhod do. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell when you sing the name of mother. లజ్జా, మోడెస్టీ, సిగ్గు, మొహమాటం, తర్వాత భయం, తర్వాత ఘృణ, అంటే ఒక జిగుప్స, ఎందుకు పాడాలి. దట్ ఆల్సో ఈజ్ ఎ గ్రేట్ ఎనిమీ. ఈ 3 విల్ నాట్ టేక్ యూ టు మదర్, విల్ టేక్ యూ టు ఫిష్ మార్కెట్ ఓన్లీ. సో నౌ దోస్ హూ వాంట్ టు ఆఫర్ ఫ్లవర్స్, Holy Trinity and Revered Maharaj photograph, line by line, volunteers come here. 2 volunteers stay here, 2 at the steps, narrow steps. మెల్లిమెల్లిగా రావాలి. ఒకవైపు నుంచి వచ్చి ఫ్లవర్ ఆఫరింగ్ చేసేసి ఇటు నుంచి భోజనం స్థలంకి వెళ్ళిపోవాలి. ఇప్పుడు భజన్ కే బాద్ ఇక్కడ న్యూ షెడ్, మల్టీపర్పస్ షెడ్ మీకు అవసరం చేయించాం. మొన్న శారదాదేవి బర్త్డే రోజు ఇనాగ్రేట్ అయింది. దట్ ఈస్ మెంట్ ఫర్ కార్ పార్కింగ్. If car parking is not meant for Madhyanam Bhojanam, if Madhyanam Bhojanam is not there, it is meant for Balavikas children classes. So it is neatly arranged. 6,000 square feet land area మేము రీట్రైన్ చేసి మంచి షెడ్ కట్టించాం. సో లేడీస్ అందరికీ ది భోజనం విల్ బి దేర్. జెంట్స్ అండ్ అదర్స్ విల్ హ్యావ్ ఇన్ VIH షెడ్ అండ్ వాలంటీర్స్ విల్ గైడ్ యూ. ఓకే, దెన్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ 2 o'clock అంతా మళ్ళీ తిరిగి వచ్చేయండి. 3 sessions of bhajans and meditation and chanting. So whole program is timed nicely. Japa Dhyana, then bhajans by Kripa Ghanananda, Pune, then Siteshananda, then small break, bhajans by Kalyaneshanda, Japa Dhyana, Kripa Ghanananda, half an hour, Ramakrishna Sharanam Pata and Mukimpu. These all next 3 hours. So ఎవరెవరు గేట్ బంద్ అయింది, జాగ్రత్త. Don't jump the gate and go. Don't recollect your college days. సెక్యూరిటీకి చెప్పేసి వచ్చా, నా పర్మిషన్ నేను చీటీ ఇస్తేనే వాళ్ళు పంపించు. కాలేజీలు అంటారు కదా, వేర్ ఈస్ ది గేట్ పాస్. సో నో జంపింగ్, నో క్లైంబింగ్ ఆర్ నో ఎస్కేపింగ్. ఆల్ గేట్స్ బంద్. ఓన్లీ కమార్పకూర్, పూణే అండ్ రామకృష్ణ. ఎంజాయ్ చేయండి ఒకరోజు, ఏం పర్లేదు. హైదరాబాద్ ఈజ్ వెరీ హ్యాపీ వితౌట్ యూ. ఆహా, ఇంతమంది లేరే, ఆనందం, శుద్ధు ఆనందం. సో అలాగే ఒకరోజు త్యాగ కరో వాటి కొంచెం. మళ్ళా అదే చేపల కంపు, గురమరాజ్ స్టోరీ. చేపల కంపు, మల్లెపూలు ఉన్నాయి, అది ఆవిడకి ఇష్టం లేదు. ఐ వాంట్ చేపల బుట్ట. చేపల బుట్ట తెచ్చి తల పెట్టిందంట, ప్రాణాయామం చేసిందంట. ఇది అసలైన వాసన, సువాసన. ఆవిడ బాగా నిద్రపోయిందంట. ఆవిడ రామకృష్ణ పరమహంస ఏం కొట్టారండి చంపలు దెబ్బలు. మనకి కొంచెమైనా ఇది అవుతుందా? సింప్లీ హీ షుక్ ది మ్యాడ్నెస్ అవుట్ అండ్ సెడ్, యు ఆర్ మదర్స్ చిల్డ్రన్ ఆఫ్ జాయ్, డోంట్ కిల్ ద జాయ్, ఎంజాయ్. ఇప్పుడు పిల్లలందరూ ఎంజాయ్ ఎంజాయ్, దే డోంట్ ఎంజాయ్, దే కిల్ జాయ్ బై డ్రగ్స్ అండ్ బై డ్రింకింగ్. ఇప్పుడు కొత్తగా ఫ్యాషన్ వచ్చింది, భజన్ నైట్స్. ఏదో కొత్తగా స్టార్ట్ చేశారు కొంతమంది యువకులు, భజన్ నైట్స్. పబ్లో డాన్స్ అది బదులు హోల్ నైట్ భజన చేస్తున్నారు పిల్లలు. ఒక గ్రూప్ తయారైంది. ఇట్స్ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ చేంజ్. సమ్ బుద్ధి హస్ కమ్, ఎన్లైటెండ్ సిటిజన్షిప్. సో అలాగా ఇప్పుడు మనం వెళదాం. సో వాలంటీర్స్ దోస్ వాంట్ టు కమ్ క్విక్లీ లైన్లో వచ్చేయండి, వెళుతూ ఉండండి. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. మ్యూజిక్ వేయండి మధ్యలో. 10 జెంట్స్ 10 లేడీస్ అలాగ వదులుతూ ఉంటాం. కొంచెం ఫాస్ట్గా చేయాలి అంతే. లేడీస్ 1 లైన్, జెంట్స్ 1 లైన్. మెట్లు ఎక్కడానికి కష్టమైతే మీరు తర్వాత మధ్యాహ్నం చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఆకలి వేస్తూ ఉంటే వెళ్ళిపోండి, మళ్ళా వచ్చి చేసుకోండి. ఫాస్ట్గా చేసి ఇటు 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 అగైన్ క్లైంబింగ్. రిమూవ్ ద ట్రే. ఇటు వచ్చేయండి. ఇద్దరు ముగ్గురు వేసేయండి ప్లీజ్. 2-3 people at a time. 10 ladies 10 gents, 10 ladies 10 gents.